Modeling, very important. This is a basic fundamental aspect of where you would start um, with the requirements, what comes in the scope and what lies out of the scope, what is in the scope and what is out of scope. Very important. So we need to do that because that would help you understand the product roadmap, which release, within the release, which iteration or which sprint and all those things, decisions, very important. Process modeling in the context of process, understanding the workflows, understanding the roles, who does what, understanding the breakdown scenarios, and trying to connect the dots and see where we need to intervene. So all of them, again, very important in the context of the product development. And then functional decomposition, very, very important because we're talking about from the very high level, the 30,000 feet of view. From there on, you're trying to get down to the ground, and from there, deep dive into the ocean, for example. So that aspect of looking at big things top down, looking at the bigger things first, and then trying to break it down into further pieces, from there again into further pieces. So that's what analysis is all about, right? Analysis is breaking things down. That is called analyze. Building things up is synthesize, is opposite of analysis. Analysis is breaking things down. So functional decomposition is a good technique for you to look at big things and then look at the module, for example. Look at the overall system from the system's perspective, look at the system, break it down to different modules, admin, core, and user and user. Take each module and then again break it down to different functionalities, each function into features, each feature into different activities, each activity different tasks, each task into perhaps subtasks. I think perhaps that could be the max that you could go to. So that's where you would need to really kind of understand the overall solution in the most granular manner. So again, down to the granularity, how low can you go in terms of breaking it down into further and further, further and further smaller aspects of it. How low can you go? So business rules is basically the fundamental foundation for your industry standards or the domain that you are in. You need to understand this relevant business rules, the regulatory requirements, the compliance related requirements, and that would actually give you the impetus in terms of how you define the requirement, how you can manage it, because the business rules keep changing. That's the whole idea of why do we need to worry about it as BAs? Because, for example, the tax, the income tax, or even the corporation tax, or whatever it is, or the savings income or interest rate, all of these they keep changing. They keep changing, very periodically. Perhaps sometimes some of them change. In fact, the interest rates change every day, right? The LIBOR kind of rate change every day. And it's also the currency exchange rate. The taxes, they change perhaps once a year or 2 years. So all of these are important because they're bound to change and we need to be on the top of that. If we got anything wrong, if we just fix or tag our product functionality to any specific hard coded aspect of the tax or hard coded thing, and we say that, and we compute from there, then it goes for a big toss if it's changed. So we need to be on the top of these things. And that's why it's important where we've used, identify where we have used variable elements like this, the tax, interest, or stuff like that, which changes very often with the regulation. And effect that change immediately. So as and when the change happened in the market or in the government, they try and say that this is the change that we've effected. Immediately that needs to reflect in the product, and that should be applicable in all the places that is implemented or applicable or referred to. You should be able to reflect the change. Otherwise, it's going to give completely wrong results and incorrect data, and it all goes for the cost. So very, very